जल्दी वीडियो बना के। हेलो हेलो माइक टेस्टिंग, आज आवाज आ रही होगी। गला भी खराब है मेरा तो। ज़्यादा पता नहीं मेरे को। उड़ने वाली चीज बेसिकली ब्लू विंडो क्रीचर क्रीचर विंड क्रीचर विंड क्रीचर। शायद बर्ड्स का ही लेना है। लेट्स सी क्या रहती है ना बर्ड्स। की बार ले रहे हैं। अरे बहुत जल्दी आना वीडियो बना के। डोमेन शायद आज संडे तो अनलॉक रहेगा। इतनी सारी चिड़ियों की आवाज़ आ रही है। चिड़िया एक भी नहीं दिखी। चिड़िया कहाँ मिलेगी अब? यहाँ मिल सकती है। स्टैक नहीं है
Next on the agenda.
बत्तख की भी नहीं
We're way behind schedule.
एक बार देखा था मैंने यहाँ पर साई में लेते हैं, साई
Make my escape.
गलत आ गया चलो कौन से हो रहे कौन से नहीं हो रहे.
This rail.
मैंने चीज़ें आ गई इसमें टी-पॉट में. आर्ट
If you ever had Hello. One moment. If I had known. In other words, I've read enough, but when it comes to, I'd like you to, perhaps your feedback will also deepen my taste. You're the one who's in the title of the doc. More importantly, I'll just think of you as my. Can I? Let the wind. Good morning. I wish you a. If there is any. Huh? It. All right, I'm in good spirits. Is there anything you wish to know? Oh, how studious of. I am in. For now, some
Chuk
That
chuk.
seeing is believing. There's no limit to the
Chuk
number
chuk
of tricks
chuk.
I can pull off.
मिल गई सीट. इसमें मिली.
Excuse me. Would you mind helping me take a look at this report?
I'll be right there. Sorry, I've got my hands full here. You can see yourselves in.
Everyone's so busy. Seems a lot has been happening.
Hello. You've come at the right time, but you'll have to wait for just a moment. In the meantime, please, have a seat. If you'd like to have something to drink, let the Melusine outside know.
That's all right. We just ate.
Very well, then.
Let's take a break over there while we wait for him to finish his work.
All right. That should wrap things.
Are you done with your work?
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Today should be the day you were released from the Fortress of Meripede, and it appears that you've managed to complete all the release paperwork.
That's right, and we came here to see you right away.
A massive...
Do you have any idea what that might be?
Judging from your description, that cannot have occurred in any ordinary waters, but rather something like the primordial sea. A whale of that size and shape cannot usually be found in the waters of Tivat. Therefore...
Immersed in primordial seawater? But how? Is he okay?
Most people wouldn't be capable of entering in the first place. I'm not completely sure how he could have gotten there myself. Yes? What is it?
Ah, right! Paimon felt it too! We asked the Duke and he said it wasn't from underwater, so we figured you might know something about it.
It turns out that I have just received a report about this particular matter. In fact, the source of the tremor was here on the surface near Poisson. After the shaking stopped,
The water levels rose? Oh no! What about all the people there?
Fortunately, the water levels only rose for a short period of time, and have already returned to normal now. However, I still have a bad feeling about the whole phenomenon. If the change in water levels is connected with the leaking primordial seawater, then the situation in Poisson may be much worse than it appears.
Navia should be in Poisson, right? We need to go check on her!
I would also like to go there as soon as possible, but I'm afraid I can't leave just yet. We must immediately formulate disaster prevention plans for the surrounding coastal areas to avoid I'll have to ask you two to go to Poisson first. I'll meet you there to check on the situation once I've finished things here.
There's no time to lose! Let's get going!
Please be careful.
should be around here, right? We need to make sure... We haven't seen a single soul all the way here. Oh, this is getting scary.
What will I ever do now?
Look! There's someone on the roof over there!
Just stay put. We're coming up. Watch your balance.
All right, just hurry. I'm not young anymore. How will I survive on my own?
Oh, he looks pretty sad.
My leg! My leg! How could this have happened? It hurts!
Just hang in there. Help is on the way. You can hold my hand if it makes you feel better.
Oh, it's Navia. She's over there. Hey, Navia, are you okay?
You're here.
We heard there was a situation in Poisson, so we came as quickly as we could.
Yes. As you can see, the water level suddenly rose. It caused quite the disturbance, in fact.
Demoiselle! There was a wounded resident next to a building southeast of here. We've already transported him to safety, but we've run out of medical supplies.
He's wounded? How badly?
He fell, so it's probably a broken leg. He's pretty shaken up. When the water level rose, he desperately climbed up to the roof.
He jumped down then. Find the leader of Squad 1 and tell him to take the wounded resident to see a doctor. He should know where to go.
Understood. I'll take over his search and rescue mission in the meantime.
All right, you'll be in charge. I'm sorry. Where were we?
The situation in Poisson?
Ah, right. Allow me to explain. A little earlier, we suddenly heard a loud noise. At first, everyone thought that something might have exploded in the waterways. But before we knew it, water started pouring out from everywhere. The rushing water seemed a little odd, almost like the unique color of primordial seawater. Some people didn't realize the danger and thought it was just ordinary water, leaking from somewhere. Everyone on the street who happened to be close to the water didn't have a chance to escape. Those who realized what was happening started to flee in a panic, desperately trying to get to higher ground. Many were injured in the stampede, and some people fell from significant heights. The Spina di Rosula initiated rescue operations as quickly as possible, but there have been a lot of casualties. Fortunately, the water that flooded the area contained primordial seawater, so the lower levels of Poisson are still hazardous. To ensure everyone's safe, no one knows if this could happen again. All we can do for now is try our best to help evacuate the residents.
How awful. And all of this just came out of nowhere.
It was quite frightening indeed. I only wish that everything that just happened...
Is there any way we can help, Navia?
Thank you for being so willing to help in a moment of crisis like this. You...
Don't say that, Navia. That's what friends are for.
Demoiselle! We've got a situation here!
I'll be right there. Sorry, I need to go for now.
And off she goes. Seems it might be a while before she can take a break.
Okay, the wounded are being tended to, and we finished a preliminary head count. More support has just arrived, so I suppose I finally have a moment to focus on my
अरे ये
own matter.
बताओ
Of
डीजे
course,
मेरी आवाज आ
we
रही है?
should remain
कल
ready
मेरी
for
आवाज
anything.
नहीं आ रही थी.
And continue, Traveler. Paimon,
Huh? Right now?
thank you.
अरे ये बताओ वॉइस आ रही है कि नहीं मेरी? एंड्रॉयड में भी वही 5 कितना 506 GB नहीं, काफ़ी ज़्यादा लगता है उसमें तो. आइडिया नहीं है बट मैंने देखा नहीं है, तो उसको पता होगा. चलो वॉइस तो आ रही है. होगा वही कम से कम ज़्यादा जीबी का है. 10 से ऊपर ही है उसमें भी, इतना पता है मुझे. जोर से बोलूं और जोर से बोलूं? अभी ठीक है, देख अभी वॉइस का कंफर्म ही नहीं हो पा रहा है.
Not a lot of people here, huh?
मेरा वॉइस थोड़ा ना वैसा है, भारी टाइप है.
Well, given the time of day and the whole situation in Poisson, Paimon doesn't think there'd be a ton of people here visiting graves.
मगर ट्रांसलैंड बहुत कम जीबी का है. जेंसिंग बहुत ज़्यादा जीबी का है.
That's how things...
Navia?
50 नहीं, लैपटॉप में भी ज़्यादा का है. 38-39 MB का है. सॉरी जीबी का है.
Navia, what's wrong?
Sorry. I just...
हाँ 38-39 GB का. रुक जा, मैं दिखाता हूँ तुझे. शायद कितने जीबी का है? कैंसिंग दिखा नहीं रहा है इसमें. तो तुम्हें दिखाता. इसमें तो 367 MB दिखा रहा है, बट अंदर इंस्टॉल होता है काफ़ी ज़्यादा. नहीं दिखा रहा है इसमें, और 40 MB के ऊपर ही है. 40 GB 39 40 दिन के अराउंड है।
Malus and Silver. What should I do, Papa?
Huh? What happened to them?
40 GB तक का है।
Everyone agreed on the rescue plan. They were helping evacuate the residents, but they couldn't leave in time. And they were caught in the seawater.
कि पापा मर गए क्या?
What should we do?
What should we do?
I've known them for so long. And I know they weren't afraid.
नादिया के पापा मर गए ना
But
वाटर में।
I could at least hold a funeral for my father. And I know where he rests. But as for Malus and Silver, they're just gone.
Everything looks so clean after it rains. Even the gravestones. I didn't expect that you'd enjoy a glass of red wine in front of Master Callus's grave.
I can understand.
Great.
Besides, the scenery here isn't half bad.
See, it's not just me.
पता नहीं कब तक
I
आएगा।
always want to bring something when I visit Papa. Perhaps we might even have a picnic. He wouldn't be angry, would he?
Ah, how could Master ever be upset with you, Demoiselle? Yet the cemetery is the home of those who have passed.
Buying yourself a plot in advance, are you?
No need yet. But when I do, I hope you'll let me be buried beside Master Callus.
Hey, stop joking.
I'm quite serious. That way, it will save us both the trip to see each other.
That makes sense. In that case, could I be buried on his other side?
अरे तुम्हें कॉपर का पूरा सूट चाहिए।
After all,
Copper का।
besides you, Demoiselle, the two
पूरा
of us.
तुम्हारे पास गियर जो होता है ना
believe we've-
आउटफिट पूरा
Why
5
are you
आउटफिट
bringing
है।
this up all of a
पांचों तुम्हारे
sudden?
पास
Seriously.
कॉपर का होना चाहिए और
Alright,
कॉपर के
alright,
बाद
I'll
उसका
remember your
लेवल
request.
भी लेवल 4 होना चाहिए।
But
और
I'd
उसके
really
बाद
prefer
भी
not
जो
to
मैंने
talk
हैमर
about this
रखा
stuff.
था ना कॉपर का जिसका
What do you
90
mean by
डैमेज है
saving me a trip?
उसको यूज करो बहुत ज्यादा डैमेज
I
आएगा।
promise to let them rest in peace
तुम्हें
here.
फार्म करना पड़ेगा
But
कॉपर को
I'm
कॉपर और
sorry for letting you see me in a
team.
mess like this. I don't usually cry.
Paimon
सर्वाइव
doesn't
करो
know how
तुम
I
वहाँ
had always
जाके
thought I could make my
डेली
wishes come
मिशंस
true.
करो
But
खुल जाएगा
Malus and
तुम्हारा
Silver
भी।
have
हमारा भी
helped me.
टाइम लगा था काफी।
I'm so
You can
अगर दो
spend
लोग
as
थे तो
much
थोड़ा
time
जल्दी
as you
हो
need
जाता।
here, Navia. We'll stay with you.
thank you. Right now,
ऊपर
by the way, you can have a look at this. It's a list of victims from the incident that took place here.
वो अपग्रेड
Oh, Benna.
अपग्रेड करने
So-
अपग्रेड
It's
नहीं कर
okay.
सकते शायद उसे।
I know the
अपग्रेड
overall
करेंगे भी तो शायद
outcome
उसके लिए वो
indicates that
चाहिए
the cost.
क्रिस्टल
Right.
चाहिए क्रिस्टल
Don't
ऐसा
think that way,
क्या नाम
Navia.
था उसका नाम भूल
One
गया।
person, Malus and Silver were.
You're right. What you said just now.
Oh,
Seems you've become more eloquent in the time since we last met.
the knave? What are you
Knave.
doing here?
नीव
Is everything going well on your side?
Yes, my
अरे
people are
तुम्हें
carrying
अपग्रेड
out the
करने की
mission
जरूरत
according
नहीं
to
है
your
तुम वो
request.
करो ना सिर्फ
All the residents of
Phantom,
Poisson have been
Phantom
evacuated,
Crystal.
and we're preparing to relocate them to higher
Phantom Crystal से ही
ground. As for
upgrade
these
होगा वो,
supplies,
सब-
we have
सब
everything
कुछ।
taken care of.
फैंटम
There's no
क्रिस्टल
need to
और
worry.
फैंटम क्रिस्टल के बाद तो तुम गायक मारोगे ना उससे भी हो
Thank you
जाएगा।
very much.
उसमें एक चीज मिलेगा पता नहीं स्टिक टाइप है वो
you know each
नाम भूल
We
गया मैं
just
उसका।
met recently.
उस
Right,
स्टिक
Miss Navi.
का से ही तुम्हारे सारे कॉपर के अपग्रेड होंगे।
Thanks to the knave, Spina di Rosu.
Mutual aid is essential
कल
to
मैंने
fostering
किया था
positive
यही मैंने
developments.
अपने
We
पूरे
were
आउटफिट
already
को
in the
अपग्रेड
area
किया
in
था
any case, so
फिर
it was
जाके उसको
nothing.
मारा
That
था।
said,
I apologize for all the ways in which I test. My subordinates
कॉपर
have
तुम
reported that
जैसे
Fatui
तुम्हारे
soldiers
पास
have been
आउटफिट
observing
सारे
water
कॉपर के
levels.
हो
This
गए
is nothing to
और
brag about,
डैमेज
nor
मेन
do I
आउटफिट हो
intend
गया
to.
और
It is simply the way of
और
powerful
तुम्हारे पास जो
organizations to act
शॉर्ड कह रहा
forcefully,
हूँ वो
as
हैमर
I've
रहेगा
told
ना
this travel, lending
वो
your
कॉपर का
order.
हैमर
Without your help, there
दो
would have
कैप
been many
कॉपर है
more casualties. I won't forget.
Furthermore, I sincerely regret what happened to Malus and Silver.
यार ट्राई करना
Don't say that. You and your subordinates did everything you could. As Paimon said, Malus and
अरे इजी
Silver
मार
didn't.
लोगे दो लोग
I've never
मिलके
liked hearing people put it that way.
You're right.
दो लोग
Water
भी नहीं
is
तो एक ही
life.
लोग के
So,
मार लोगे
you're
एक ही
one-
लोग
Of course.
बस तुम्हें
That is why
कॉपर
I'm
का
going to
चाहिए
Hotel Bouffe de Terre. I still have some. By the way,
तुम्हारे पास
traveler,
आउटफिट कॉपर का आ गया ना और
One more
हैमर आ
thing.
गया तुम आराम से मार लो कवर ले
Alright, then
लेके
we'll just...
रेंजर वेस्ट कम डैमेज पड़ता है
This isn't right.
हाँ उसको
Paimon
कम
thought
है
you would ask us to walk with you for a moment so you could...
That is a clever and
बोला तो
traveler.
कॉपर के
You and I
ऊपर वाले
both know that
कॉपर
there
और
may
कॉपर
be
के ऊपर वाले
issues with
सबसे
the
बेस्ट है
primordial sea.
वेस्ट
Previously, it was the fort. Indeed.
कॉपर के
Allow me
ऊपर
to share
शायद
the
वो
latest
है
intel I've received
क्या
from
है
House of the Hearth's intelligence network
कॉपर
with
के
you.
ऊपर वो है
During
क्या
some
बोलते
recent
हैं
investigations, a
पता नहीं
child
शायद
claimed
पत्थर
to
का
have
है रॉक
discovered
का है
some
शायद
root.
वो
Judging by the date, my people initially.
So that's why the
रॉक का ही
Fatui were
लगा था
already.
मेरे
I
को ध्यान
wanted to
नहीं
take the. Linny told me that, which is why I want to give you
रॉक के आउटफिट
this
थे
task. The House of the Hearth's members see each other as family. But Linny, Lynette, and Fremine said that they also see you. I'm sure you already understand how earnest they consider their friendship with you to
हो
be.
जाएगा रेंजर वेस्ट कम डैमेज पड़ता
Oh!
The intel I just shared about the ruins could fetch a high price.
अरे तीन चार
Excuse
लोग हो
me,
गए ना
but
एक साथ मिलके
may I
आराम से
tag
हो
along?
जाएगा गेम हाँ उसको हील करते हैं मशरूम
You wish to
अरे
join?
इतना नहीं करते
Miss-
जितना तुम्हारा डैमेज
Are you
लगेगा
sure you're up to
हैमर
explode?
एक बार बना लो ना
There's no point. Besides,
बस मारते रहो कवर ले लेके जैसे ही तुम्हारा वो
Since you put it that
अल्टी
way,
अल्टी
I
बन
have-
जाए ना
all right.
उसको मारते रहो फिर भाग जाओ
The three of us...
ऐसे कितनी बार कर सकते हो ग्लिच है वो मतलब ग्लिच क्या ही है वो कवर में जाओ मारो कवर में जाओ मारो है वो है पेशेंस रखो पेशेंस हो जाएगा
Sky is clearing up.
Ad Astra Abyss. Thank you for
दूसरा आज खोल दूँ मैं मेरे पास रेजिन है ज़्यादा नहीं है सात ही है सात आठ है ये मिल रहा है खोल लेगा इससे देखा मेरी पेटी कितनी है ये बार मेरे को मिली थी दिया और शेना एक साथ चीची मिली पाए वो फेल हो गया मेरा लगता है लेने तनहारी फिर लेने मिल गई थी 8 कोई 8 25 25 8 को 28 8 को ऐसा उसके साथ पहले हुआ था मेरे साथ अरे और नहीं दिखाता है वेपन नहीं मिले मुझे ज़्यादा
My pole arm doesn't distinguish friend from foe, and there is clearly a limit to the red rope's power. That's why I loathe crowded areas.
Addition करते लैग होता है पोर्शन दे दो सेंसिंग इफेक्ट समझ नहीं आता मुझे भी नहीं आता है मुझे आर्टिफैक्ट नहीं समझ में आते मैं भी नया ही हूँ बट ऐसी टाइम
फिर भी नए हो
क्या
तुम जुन्ने हो फिर भी नए हो
आ गए क्या
डिस्कॉर्ड पे आ गया
बंदे कह रहे हैं ना जिनसे अरे ये कह रहा था डीजे सोनू सॉन्ग
हाँ अरे आप नहीं बंदे होंगे
बोल अरे वो ड्रॉन क्लाइंट का बोल रहा था बेस्ट मैंने कल लेवल 4 कर लिया था
ना कुछ किया हमने बाबा कल ड्राउंसलैंड में भागा दौड़ी यहाँ से घोड़ा निकालो वहाँ भागो वहाँ से जाओ यहाँ जाओ
ज्यादा खेला नहीं ना मगर
अरे बहुत बहुत फन गेम है पता है अभी तक हमने ना वो बर्फ वाला इलाका भी गए ही नहीं वहाँ पे ठंडी बचता है वहाँ पे आग जला के जो मशाल लेके जाना पड़ता है बहुत सही है वो हाँ वीडियो अभी एडिट किया डाला मैंने कल से पेंडिंग रखा था मैंने आज बना दिया और डाल दिया मोबाइल पे एडिटिंग करना बहुत मुश्किल है बाबा बहुत
नहीं वो जो
चला जाता
सॉफ्टवेयर
है
दिया है ना तुमने वो बहुत सही सॉफ्टवेयर है
बहुत सही है पर मोबाइल के लिए टाइम लेता है पता है हम है ना क्या होता है अभी मोबाइल पे अभी मेरा वॉइस अगर रिकॉर्ड करना चाह रहा था ना मैं तो इस पे रिकॉर्ड नहीं होता है वॉइस मेरा वॉइस नहीं चला जाता है मुझे अलग से वॉइस रिकॉर्ड करके फिर इसके अंदर डालना पड़ता है वैसे पीसी पे क्या है एक ही डेक के अंदर नीचे सब डाल दो तुम और सब हो जाता है आराम से एडिटिंग ये प्रॉब्लम देता है इसमें ये सॉफ्टवेयर भी अच्छा है वैसे
अच्छा
तो टाइम लेता है पर अच्छा बनता है
वो टाइम और नहीं लेगा वो थोड़ा अच्छा फोन होगा तो और ज़्यादा नहीं देगा पता है मैंने देखा है
अरे पर एडिटिंग करने के लिए तुम्हें पीछे जाना पड़ता है ना पीसी पे जल्दी जल्दी फटाफट होता है एडिटिंग भाई मोबाइल पे बहुत टाइम लेता है बहुत ज़्यादा कट करना पड़ता है फिंगर का वो टच होता है ना वो 1 सेकंड का इधर उधर हो जाता है वो एडजस्ट करना पड़ता है पीसी पे कैसे एरो पकड़ के हम कर सकते हैं बराबर एडिटिंग वगैरह मोबाइल पे थोड़ा मुश्किल है होता है पर मुश्किल है थोड़ा स्ट्रीम पे थे क्या रुको तुम्हारा स्ट्रीम देखता हूँ मैं लैपटॉप ऑन रखा है
ऐसे स्टोरी कर रहा था एक्सप्लोर
कर लो पूरा एक्सप्लोर रहने दो एक्सप्लोरेशन कर लेंगे हम दोनों पर स्टोरी अकेले ही करना पड़ता है उसका
स्नो वाले में छोटा ड्रैगन जैसा होता है बहुत दिमाग डेंजर है 25 का क्या स्नो वाला
आ जाओ
क्या
नहीं कुछ नहीं अरे मैंने वो मेरा वीडियो इसमें लैपटॉप में लगा दिया था ना तो म्यूजिक उसमें डिस्कॉर्ड में आ गया होता तुम्हारे पे कॉपीराइट आ जाता
अरे कॉपी का क्या करना
वर्ल्ड कप कब शुरू हो रहा है मैच हो गया क्या शुरू
अरे मैं नहीं देखता ये सब
देखता हूँ वर्ल्ड कप तो देखना चाहिए
कब देखना चाहिए बट मेरा मन हट गया है क्रिकेट से बहुत बेकार
मेरा भी हट गया है वैसे
फिक्सिंग है सब
पर जीतने तो वाला है इंडिया
हाँ जीतने वाला है वो ये क्या होगा
नहीं जीता तो फिर बहुत गाली देंगे रे ये लोग इतना अच्छा खेला और स्टार्टिंग लास्ट में हक दिया ऐसा नहीं होगा पर जीतेगा इंडिया जीतेगा
अरे इतने मैच जीत के आई है
हाँ ना वही तो इतना खतरनाक परफॉर्मेंस दिया है इंडिया ने फॉर्म में
पहले मेरा
आराम
पता
से
क्या रहता था कि यार ये सब फिक्सिंग है और फिक्सिंग होता भी था
मेरे इस पे तुम्हारा दिखाता ही नहीं है वीडियो पता नहीं तुम्हारा सर्च करना पड़ता है मुझे
वो पता है क्यों 1-2 बार देखोगे ना फिर वो कमेंट करने लग जाएगा
अरे नहीं अरे मैं हमेशा देखता हूँ तुम्हारा लाइव स्ट्रीम
हमेशा मैं कल से तो स्टार्ट किया
मतलब पिछला बार भी पिछला वाला भी बोल रहा हूँ ना हाँ तो दिखाना चाहिए ना यहाँ पे दिखता नहीं है सब्सक्राइबर पे जाके देखना पड़ता है सब्सक्रिप्शन हाँ यहाँ पे दिखा रहा है 3 की वॉचिंग। 3 बंदे दिख रहे हैं। कौन कौन दिख रहा है?
अरे बंदे देख रहे होंगे और कौन देख रहा है?
अरे मेरा ही आवाज कितना ज्यादा आ रहा है इसमें। तुम्हारा आवाज बहुत कम आ रहा है तुम्हारे स्ट्रीम पे।
अरे मैंने कम भी कर रखा है, कल से तो ठीक है ना।
ऐसा लग रहा है मैं स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूँ।
अरे मैंने कम किया हुआ है।
तुम्हारा आवाज बढ़ा दो, तुम ज्यादा रखो, बहुत कम है।
अरे मेरा एक मिनट, आवाज पता है कैसा है, अजीब सा आता है।
अरे आने दो कैसे भी।
अभी ठीक है, देखना बताना। हेलो 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 माइक टेस्टिंग।
और थोड़ा करो।
मेरी मम्मी की आएगी भी आवाज चिल्लाएगी तो।
अरे नहीं नहीं, अरे वो सॉफ्टवेयर पे होता है ना बाहर का आवाज, वो ये कर देता है एक्स्ट्रा आवाज।
मैंने
उसमें
देखा
होता है
नहीं
मोनो
है ये
ऑडियो
सब।
ओनली, कुछ होता है रे, वो कर लो ऑन।
होगा, देखना पड़ेगा, मैं इतना कर नहीं रहा हूँ।
बस तुम्हारा जो माइक का पास में जो होगा ना उसका ही आवाज आएगा।
अरे ये फोड़ू कैसे?
आप वैसा ठीक है, तुम्हारा आवाज ऐसा ठीक है, मेरे जितना ही लग रहा है।
हमने बढ़ा दिया ना। क्या कर
चैट
रहे थे?
पढ़ोगे? चैट पढ़ लिए?
हाँ यही तो, डीजे डीजे सॉन्ग की पढ़ रहा था कल वाली।
अरे तुम एक्सप्लोरेशन क्यों कर रहे हो? स्टोरी करो ना सब। गो टू द रुइंस बता रहा है, देखो 200 मीटर दूर।
हाँ जा रहा था, मैं भूल गया था।
ये मत करो, ये एक्सप्लोरेशन कर लेंगे, हम एक साथ कर लेंगे। एक्सप्लोरेशन तो कर सकते हैं ना एक साथ, तो स्टोरी नहीं कर सकते, स्टोरी कर लो।
पूरी बहुत सारी
पूरा स्टोरी
बाकी
फिनिश
है
करो।
मेरी।
हाँ वहां से टेलीपोर्ट मारो, हाँ बराबर है।
हम्म,
स्नो वाले में छोटा ड्रैगन जैसा होता है, बहुत डैमेज देता है, 25 का।
25 का डैमेज?
ये देखो
35 का देते हैं डैमेज। अरे वो तुमने बना के दिया ना, उससे ठीक हो गया।
कौन सा बना के?
वो वो शील्ड,
Step right up.
शील्ड?
कॉपर, कॉपर का वो आउटफिट पूरा।
हाँ फिर मेरे जैसा ही है अभी पूरा, मैंने जितना अपग्रेड किया है ना, अरे मैंने
हम्म,
कितना कुछ नहीं फार्म किया, अरे मैं क्या बताऊँ, अकेला अकेले मैं माइनिंग के लिए जाता था कितना सारा, बहुत माइनिंग किया है, बहुत कोयला बनाया तुम
So,
जाने के बाद।
are these the ruins the knave was
सब रखा
talking
था,
about?
टीन वगैरह,
They
कुछ
seem to be.
अरे
सौ
मैं
कुछ
इतना सारा
100 के
बनाया था
आसपास
मगर
भी
उसके
रखा था।
उसके बाद भी किया
वो
था।
लग गया, वो जितना
रूइन
मुझको
से
भी
ही
लग
तो।
गया वो। नाविया, नाविया को मैं पुल करूंगा, बहुत खतरनाक प्लेयर है यार नाविया, नाविया जैसी बंदी नहीं है।
नाविया आने वाली है।
हाँ ना,
ये तो वो है ना,
नाविया का
क्रायो,
वीडियो बनाना है
क्रायो कह
मुझे,
रहा
मुझे
हूँ,
पता चल गया है
पायरो है।
कौन सा उसका, बना देता हूँ मैं, कल परसों
पायरो है ना
बनाऊंगा
इसका,
वीडियो।
पायरो।
पायरो नहीं, जियो कैरेक्टर है, बहुत
नाविया
सही है।
पायरो है।
पायरो नहीं है नाविया भाई,
अरे
वो जियो
पायरो
कैरेक्टर है
अभी मैंने
नाविया।
देखा उसके पीछे है ना उसका
अरे
बैच।
नहीं, जियो, जियो कैरेक्टर है, जियो
अरे
है।
जो अभी हमें देखी थी वही ना।
हाँ हाँ जियो है वो।
अरे
वो
मैंने
दूसरी
उसके
है,
पीछे,
कोई और
ये
देखी
देखो जैसे
होगी।
ये चीज है ना, ये पायरो का, ये देखा मैंने इसके पीछे जो ब्रेसलेट है।
नहीं 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 नहीं, जियो कैरेक्टर है, जियो का विजन भी था, तुम पीछे करके स्ट्रीम देख लो, उसके पास जियो का विजन भी था,
Glaze over.
जियो का विजन भी दिखा है।
A round of applause.
वो है ना शॉटगन लेके मारती है यार, मस्त है एकदम, गोलियां भरती है, रिलोड करती है घुटने पे बैठ
ऐसा।
के, और मेन अल्टी पे पीछे तोप आ जाते हैं, तोप से उड़ा देती है। बहुत सही लगता है, फन लगता है उसका, जो गेम प्ले है ना बहुत फन है। छतरी के अंदर शॉटगन है, छाता लेके
ठीक है।
मारती है।
नावी देखिए, एक नाविया है और एक वो भी है, एक चिल्ले जैसी है जो। अरे
वो अर्क, वो दूसरी,
अरे
वो नहीं, और फादर उसकी, ये इसकी, ये लेने की।
अबे कुछ ज्यादा नीचे नहीं आ गया मैं? ये भी मर
धीरे
गया।
धीरे आहिस्ता आहिस्ता खेलो, सब जगह देखो, एक दो चेस्ट मिस हो सकते हैं तुम्हारे, चेस्ट वगैरह बहुत होंगे यहाँ पे।
अरे वो ऊपर जाना था मुझे, वो पहाड़ फूट गया। ऊपर
उड़ के
कैसे गया?
ग्लाइड करके आना चाहिए था,
अरे
पूरा ही
एकदम
नीचे
से
आ गया।
फूट गया। अच्छा ये है तो।
शनहा लो ना, शनहा, बड़े बड़े टांगे है ना, जल्दी चढ़ेगी ऊपर।
हाँ।
शनहा लो।
इनको पता था
बहुत
मैं फूटेगा तो नीचे गिरूंगा।
देखो यहाँ पे है ना ऊपर जाने का।
Manifest. Cryo
हाँ, इस
incarnate.
पे बड़े टांगे का एडवांटेज, जल्दी भागता है बंदा, पता है, बड़े टांगे से
हाँ।
रनिंग स्पीड ज़्यादा हो जाता है। अब गान्यू से मारो, होल्ड करके एक शॉट दो, मर जाएंगे सब।
मरेगी नहीं, जरूरत ही नहीं था।
शनहा का अल्टी मार के फिर गान्यू का होल्ड करके मारो।
अच्छा
पहला
ये
बार
कह
बार
रहे थे ना, ये जियो है।
Contaminated by primordial.
Yeah,
क्या?
and
नाविया।
it too.
नाविया
Fontaine
जियो
would most
कैरेक्टर है।
likely dissolve the moment.
Right.
देखो ना कलर, देखो ना, जियो जैसे ही
अरे
है ना
मैं
पूरा।
उसकी सोच रहा था जो
Dangerous, and it won't be any help for you.
नाविया के
विजन
साथ
दिखाई
भी।
देगा तुम्हें, देखो विजन भी है उसके नीचे लगा है विजन।
Don't get by my wrong. We're not saying you're useless. It's
No, you're right.
विजन था शायद, अभी इसमें नहीं दिख रहा है, ये कटसीन में नहीं है। देखो विजन दिखा शोल्डर पे
Complicates things.
जियो
पीछे नहीं
विजन,
है।
देखो
I'll
शोल्डर
go
पे विजन
together
है,
with
देखो ना,
you.
दिखा मुझे।
ये ना।
Perhaps we'll find the exit just up.
शोल्डर पे विजन था, पीछे स्ट्रीम करके देखो थोड़ा सा।
दिखा?
जियो विजन दिख गया, हाँ।
oh no, it's a dead end.
मुझे लगा वो पायरो, एक वो भी थी ना पायरो, एक उसकी तरह है, मतलब थोड़ी चिल्ले जैसी कपड़े पहन रखे उसने, जो बात करती चाय पीती है।
वो लिनेट की फादर है, वो फादर बोलता है ना लिनेट।
हाँ लिनेट की फादर है, स्टोरी बताया था। वो फादर है, लड़की है, लड़की फादर कैसे हो सकती है?
ऐसा ही बोलते हैं फादर।
We're way behind schedule.
उसको बहुत खतरनाक कैरेक्टर होने वाली है वो भी, तो कब आएगी पता नहीं। बहुत सारे कैरेक्टर पेंडिंग है, बाप रे, जेनशिन का आधा के ऊपर कैरेक्टर पेंडिंग है। अभी मेरे पास मुझे लगता है 50 के ऊपर कैरेक्टर मेरे पास होंगे, F2P होके भी, और 80 कैरेक्टर हो गए होंगे मुझे लग रहा है टोटल के जेनशिन का, 80 के ऊपर। ये क्या है, ये इलाके में मैं आया ही नहीं।
अरे अपने आप गिर गई तो।
अरे ठीक से जाओ ना।
अरे इतना कैमरा अजीब सा क्यों हो गया था?
जंप मार के जाओ ना, वो पत्थर गिरेगा, देखो अभी नहीं आया हो, मैं स्टोरी किया है यहाँ पे। ये ठीक से जंप करके जाओ, जंप करो।
जंप किया ना?
हाँ भागो भागो भागो, ये गिरेगा सब, भागो, रुको मत, जंप करो। हाँ हो गया। अभी नाविया यहाँ पे मर जाती है, नीचे गिर
मर जाती है।
देखो ना अभी कट मर नहीं जाती, लगभग मर जाती है। नेवलेट आता है, बच्चा नहीं, नेवलेट बचा लेता है। मैं पूरा स्टोरी ही बता रहा हूँ, पूरा मूड चला जाएगा तुम्हारा।
अरे नहीं कोई नहीं।
ये देखो नाविया बचा ले, आई नहीं पकड़ पाता, गई। नीचे वो परमोडियल सी होता है ना, वो सी वाटर में सब डिसॉल्व हो जाते हैं, उसमें चली जाती है।
Demoiselle, what are you doing?
Maybe she just...
ड्रॉन्स लैंड में रूइंस रिसेट होता है क्या? होता है ना?
Quite possible.
Oh,
होता है हो गई।
this is a familiar.
Is something the matter?
Oh, and I was just trying to.
Do you remember Mr. Giverny?
We were headed to see how things...
मेरे में ग्लिच हो गया है, 13 घंटे बता रहा है।
Mr. Malus. Mr. Silver.
13 घंटे अगो मेरी लाइव स्ट्रीम अभी 1 घंटा भी हुई है।
They were knocking at my.
हाँ नहीं मुझे 80 मिनट बता रहा है।
मेरे को 13 घंटे बता रहा है।
नहीं पिछला वाला स्ट्रीम का वो दिखा रहा होगा, 13 घंटे एगो किया था, रात में कर रहे थे ना। नहीं रात में 13 घंटे कितना होगा? हाँ बराबर, रात का कल वाला स्ट्रीम बता रहा होगा वो।
Excuse me, that's right. No, it's nothing. I've heard. And why are there so few people around here?
ये टैग क्यों ऐसे लगा है वॉलोरेंट का वगैरह है, निकालो ना।
Well, now.
Miss
दिख रहा है
Nadia,
क्या?
here you are. I've been looking for you.
तुमने अभी जो डिटेल्स में टैग्स लगाया है ना, वॉलोरेंट का लगाया है, वॉलोरेंट।
Wait,
Why
सेंसिटिविटी
would I need
लगाया
to go
है,
to the opera
वॉलोरेंट
house?
इंडिया लाइव लगाया है, तो ये गलत टैग पड़ जाते हैं। तुम जेंशिंग खेल रहे हो तो जेंशिंग का टैग लगाओ।
वोलोरेंट जेंसिंग सबका है,
Yes,
देखो
she's
ना।
right, Demoiselle. It's
अरे
just
उसका फायदा नहीं है ना फिर। जेंशिंग खेल रहे हो तो जेंशिंग का ही टैग लगाओ। जेंशिंग इम्पैक्ट इंडिया लगाओ, जेंशिंग लगाओ, जेंशिंग लाइव लगाओ, जेंशिन F2P प्लेयर लगाओ,
Look, it's Navia.
जेंशिन
F2P थोड़ी ना होगी।
इंडिया हिंदी लगाओ, जेंशिन हिंदी लगाओ, ऐसे।
Everyone's finally here.
अरे मैंने गेम अभी देखा था, मतलब वो स्टीम पे, ठीक है।
There are a lot of people here to
वो
see the
मतलब
trial.
कुकिंग से रिलेटेड है, बहुत फनी था। मैंने हटा दिया, मगर थोड़ी देर के ना। एक ही हाथ से बनाना है सब कुछ, और मतलब देना है कस्टमर को बना के पिज्जा वगैरह। इतना अजीब सा था गेम।
And as for the
खेला है
judge,
मैंने, मोबाइल पे खेला है वैसे गेम।
हाँ, इसको क्या हुआ
where's
इधर आ
Mr.
गया?
Neuvillette?
सोच रही
Please
है
sit
क्या?
in the defendant's seat.
खाना खा लिया क्या?
Don't worry.
All
नहीं
right.
नहीं, खाना है।
But are you sure you can stand behind me?
Typically,
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
ये फिर से स्टार्ट हो गया वैसे ही।
Any idea what?
Enough with the whispering.
नहीं स्टोरी है ना ये।
My
अभी वो
dear
अंदर
Miss
चली गई है ना।
Have
भाई
you
ये
ever
बंदा तो
realized
वही है, एक बार
what you've
नोबलेट
done?
आता है,
As
उस
all
पे वो कर
here
देता है,
know, you
केस डाल
are
देता है।
Master After you took over the Spina, you treated all of us just like the late Master Callus. Not only you, but your butler, your subordinate.
Wait a moment.
Yes, correct.
अरे
We are
यार,
one big,
ऐसी
therefore
स्टोरी
it
नहीं
is
होती।
fair and honor.
स्टोरी ऊपर से जाती है।
Oh, well, if that's what you think, then I...
I know all these people. Why are they
Why are
laughing?
they laughing?
I seem to remember now.
वही मैं कह रहा हूँ, ये सीन मैंने पहले भी देखा है।
this isn't right.
Malus?
What was that, Mr. Malus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now.
Stay here now.
खाना नहीं खाया?
You're one of us.
Demoiselle, don't
मम्मी आई
admit
थी
guilt.
बुलाने।
This trial means to keep you
खाना
here
खाने
forever.
चलो मैं
I wish
जाता हूँ
to
खाना खा के आता
exercise
हूँ।
my right to
मैं
defend
खा ही
Our
लेता
Lady.
मैं मैच देखूंगा मैं
Her
5
actions, please do not
बजे
कितने
करता हूँ
बजे
लाइव
से?
स्ट्रीम।
Really? As an
अभी मैच
individual,
चालू होगा,
you
अभी
say?
चालू हो गया होगा लग रहा है मैच।
Don't forget, we are all Fontanians here. This, even if everything is now, I
मैच
speak
को
for
आप
everyone.
देखना बनता
Our
है।
opinion is consistent. Navia should stay.
उसमें फ्री आ रहा है ना डिज्नी हॉटस्टार को?
Call this justice?
डिज्नी हॉटस्टार
Have
पता
you
नहीं,
forgotten
देखा
how
ही नहीं
much you
मैंने।
all
उसी में
must
आता है।
देखता हूँ वो वीडियो अभी
Justice
मैंने
is
डाला था
As
तो
you
कितना
said, we
हुआ है,
can also
देख के
have
चला
our
जाता
own
हूँ।
justice. And
हम्म।
that
7 व्यू आए बस, उसमें से 2 व्यू मेरा ही होगा।
Demoiselle,
मैंने ही देखा था
Silver,
कमेंट
I
डालने के
remember
लिए,
now. Everything that's
उसके अंदर
Karina,
कमेंट डाल दिए पहले ही मैंने
Desiree,
वीडियो में।
Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it,
ये all out है।
but they're all dead.
Don't
पीसी
be
लेने का
afraid.
सोच रहा हूँ पर एक मन बोल रहा है
Who
पैसा
are you
बर्बाद
to
हो
say
जाएगा।
that she
कौन बोल
cannot?
रहा है?
Don't let them escape.
Mr.
एक मेरा
Malus
मन
and
अंदर से
Mr.
बोल
Silver.
रहा है कि पैसा
Must it
बर्बाद
be
हो जाएगा,
so
पीसी मत
How
लिए।
could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective?
देखो,
Do not resist.
इससे अच्छा
This
तुम उतने में
judgment
फोन
is
ले लो।
fair and just. Navia
क्या रहेगा
वही
सही?
होगा ना, वही चीज होगा ना।
After
फिर
all that
किसी
happened,
किसी एक
she
दिन
should
ऐसा
not
आएगा
be
कि
left alone in Poisson.
वो मोबाइल भी
What are you
चला
saying?
जाएगा।
चला नहीं जाएगा। अच्छा फोन लोगे तो जो ये तुम जैसे चला रहे हो ना, सब काम उसी में करो।
How could she possibly?
ऑलरेडी है मेरे
With
पास
these
ठीक
people
ठाक फोन है।
Jealous of her.
अरे ठीक ठाक कहाँ है, चलता है ना, चलना चाहिए ना, वो अच्छा ग्राफिक्स पूरा
Silence.
आगे लेवलेट।
समझ नहीं आ रहा, मेरा चल ही नहीं रहा, कुछ दिमाग नहीं काम कर रहा है, पैसा वेस्ट हो रहा है ऐसा लग रहा
Monsieur
है।
Neuvillette.
अगर मैं कुछ
Such
परचेस कर लूँ तो
commotion.
पैसा
The
वेस्ट
court
हो
will
देखो
जाएगा
एक
ऐसा
सच
लग रहा है।
बताऊं तो देखो, तुम
Please leave
पीसी
with
बनाओगे ना तो
Go on now,
उसके
demoiselle.
बाद थोड़े बहुत और
You're a
पैसा लगेगा,
boss.
काम
My apologies.
करवाना ही
I
पड़ेगा।
couldn't resist making one little joke.
जैसा माउस
once I
लेना पड़ेगा,
realized
कीबोर्ड लेना पड़ेगा, अच्छा हेडफोन लेना पड़ेगा, समझ रहे हो?
Malus, Silver.
अगर तुम्हें
you
गेमिंग
must
पे ही जाना है
buy.
तो नहीं तो तुम फोन ले लो, जैसा तुम अभी कर रहे हो वैसा करते रहो, तुम्हें परफॉर्मेंस भी मिलेगी, या तुम एडिट भी जैसे कर रहे हो वैसे करते रहना। ये ऑप्शन है तो
ज़्यादा खर्चा हो रहा है। मैं तो फिर टैबलेट वगैरह लूँ क्या, आईपैड वगैरह?
I must have been
आईपैड नहीं,
dreaming.
एंड्रॉइड में जाओ।
Melus and
आईपैड में
Silver
कम
were
कर लोगे, मगर एडिटिंग वगैरह
The
ये सब में
ruins you
बहुत
were
दिक्कत
exploring
आएगा।
suffered a cave-in.
परचेज हर
Just
नहीं
सेकंड पे
आएगा ना,
परचेज।
बड़ा स्क्रीन
I
लगेगा
think
ना,
I
मस्त
saw
अरे
पीछे।
बड़,
Lucianids protecting
तुम एडिट
it.
कैसे करोगे?
It was only were it not for their
एडिट वो पेन से करूँगा।
अरे भाई साहब, पेन नहीं, उसमें रिकॉर्ड करके इसको अलग से एडिट निकालने में झंझट बहुत है, पता है तुम्हें? तुम सोच रहे होगे उसी में एडिट कर लोगे, ऐप ऐसे थोड़ा ना आते, तुम्हें एंड्रॉइड जैसे ऐप मिल जाएंगे।
Oh, I am.
टैबलेट ले लूँगा कोई।
I merely thought.
परचेज करना पड़ेगा, बहुत सा काम है।
सैमसंग का कोई होगा ना तगड़ा सा टैबलेट,
Siege week.
प्रोसेसर वगैरह अच्छा होगा।
Thank you.
प्रोसेसर पे सब डिपेंड करता है, प्रोसेसर ही चाहिए अच्छा एकदम।
Yes, in fact, amid my
8 Gen 2 तक तो चाहिए प्रोसेसर। मुझे नहीं लगता टैबलेट में आया होगा उतना प्रोसेसर।
टैब में
डालना
तो नहीं
चाहिए
आता
यार,
है।
Kept you all waiting like that.
टैबलेट में डालना
I'm
चाहिए
feeling
उतना
much
प्रोसेसर।
better now.
मोबाइल पे वही एकदम तगड़ा तगड़ा बना रहे हैं,
we should
टैबलेट
get
को भी
going
बनाना
again.
चाहिए।
अब फोन के ज्यादा हो गए ना, क्योंकि लोग गेमिंग करते हैं, सब करते हैं।
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
चलो मैं आता हूँ खाना खा के, वेट कर रहे हैं मेरा सब। चलो बाय।
ठीक है,
तुम भी खा लो खाना।
हाँ मेरे को खाना जा रहा हूँ, बस इसको मार के जा रहा हूँ।
All hail!
Here comes the finale.
Born of ice and frost. Dada Kundala.
और 3 को कब मारोगे?
We're way behind schedule.
शाम को खेलते हैं ना, ड्रॉन्स लैंड शाम को खेलेंगे।
Oh no, another unstable path. Watch your step.
वापस गई। अरे
Unleash!
Watch out! There are rocks falling over here!
Obey!
Next on the agenda.
Manifest!
No touching. I'll protect us. It seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up.
भाई साहब कैसा रास्ता है?
Do your master's bidding! Unleash!
For Rex Lepis. Let the show begin.
And voila! A round of applause! Oh.
राज नहीं हुआ ये हाँ कहाँ से लिखता हूँ
नीचे रख दे।
इसको चार्ज में लगा के चलाते कुछ होगा नहीं
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden spaces.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems like they were put here as an offering.
Perhaps we should just leave them be for.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty spot is missing.
The surrounding walls also show.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see.
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose. But does he?
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slate's contents.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated.
And is that Lady Farina in the third image? Did the Hydro Archon?
And is that a ring of people?
The fourth image. I know this one. This exactly matches the content of the prophecy.
The people will all be dissolved into. More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Nerval.
Ooh, Paimon's getting the chills just looking at these. This says that it. Still.
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before?
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing...
Egeria, then. I had the previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if confessing a sin.
Did she herself commit that sin? And also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents, could this place be the origin of the prophecy? Does that mean that someone, or some people, once saw these slates?
But who would have created these slates and left these words here?
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else to be gained here, so let's head back first.
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is. There's some things you just need to be there for yourself.
You still have energy for that, Navia? Paimon's already beat.
Just head back to the Fleuve Cendre and have a rest then. Thanks for keeping me company all this time.
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work today. Rest well, everyone. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow morning to ask about the stone slates. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office. I will share the results of our discussion with you.
Are you really gonna talk to her about this directly? Will that be a problem? Paimon's getting a little scared now that it's come to this.
She has long been harboring secrets and will not give them up easily, which makes it all the more my duty to ensure that she understands the present situation.
All right, we'll leave it in your hands then. You're probably the best person to talk to her anyway.
I will be carefully considering my words tonight.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fleuve Cendre is always open to you as ever, so please don't think you're an imposition. All right. I'll be on my way then.
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got a special menu prepared for you two tonight.
Yay! And there's good food too! No. Ooh, desserts! Nice! These are all Paimon's! Paimon's already starting to forget what happened today.
Oh, that voice. Is that who I think it is?
Huh?
It's you two. What are you doing in Fontaine?
Mona?
Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got time to just see who they'll meet on the road.
Still, we didn't expect to see you here. Wait, you're not a Fontanian, are you, Mona?
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll when I bumped into you. Quite unexpectedly, if I might add. Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a Mondstadt surname?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Well, I used used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple that the first step to being a great astrologist's pupil was to change that name. There was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes. To my surprise, however, Magistus is not the name of some ancient house or clan.
It isn't?
Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name. Wait, are you gonna have to put that into your genealogy as well?
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were to take one. Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Whoa, that's a long one. Does it also mean great or something?
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great Scholar of the Stars. Just take it as a title specific to astrologists.
Thrice as great? That's so petty.
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Magistus, actually, but when she took me in, she changed her name to Trismegistus.
Talk about excessive.
Magistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname.
That sounds terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontanian, are you, Mona? You're from Mondstadt, right?
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dornman Port, and I traveled with the old hag for a while, after which I settled down in Mondstadt City.
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be dissolved by Fontaine's waters.
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but I'd avoid getting too close to any water that looks strange all the same. There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel and speak about the circulation of the prophecy as an astrologist. The invitation was sent quite early on.
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona?
What I can tell you is that I'm afraid that this is not something that, but on the flip side...
A visionary?
Of course. The old hag could do it, and I'd bet there... Huh?
Thanks, Mona!
Oh,
that's the
indeed it...
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about.
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are. Right, but we were able to recruit... Good morning. To be honest, Paimon's still feeling. But it's time to get up.
If you want to outrun the law, you know how it works.
Is something...
Monsieur Neuvillette and Lady...
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent
You mean... they're...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some...
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to...
The prophecy?
The second of these...
I don't.
I'll ask you again. Do you... My deciphering...
All gods don't have the same secrets you... I understand your concerns.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina. There are several in... This is not strange. You have never been as...
Well, since you know about my... There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix. Just trust in me. That's all I have to say. We do not Oh!
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smart.
I assume you've been outside for...
Oh!
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion... Still, I do not understand. Everyone in her inner circle, we may have...
Oh?
Normally, people will only...
But Farina
We will need to consider... if at all possible. This may be cruel to her, but all But who will lend us their aid to do...
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved.
And here you are drinking tea.
That's what family...
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you?
Me?
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become...
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things.
That was a little long-winded, don't...
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something. As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be
Oh?
Well, it's just... Huh? Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good...
I see.
He is glad that you could...
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we...
I'm afraid not. You may or may not, though that was their name. Today, a trap so...
For me, our line of...
You use some of those techniques while moving...
Yes.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong...
And I can be there
with discretion.
I remember that...
I did.
What about you, Monsieur Neville?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. But I do have one more. If we were to create... If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes...
Wait, why...
Only a hunter who...
Huh.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them, but we shall require much more courage than.
Oh.
It's been a tough few days. Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks... well, it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience. After all, you're the most reliable person in the... did you just pour some tea? Paimon did... then what's that? Paimon's never seen that couple...
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you to...
Who's that voice?
Ah, have you forgotten me already?
Wait, you are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
The voice from the sky, You're feeling lost now. Consider me a pet. The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied.
What?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Ah, so you've caught on. Just as prophet are the things...
What is she talking?
I believe that you understand, right? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do... This was good tea, by the way.
The voice. Alright. Hey, it's...
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively band.
Mona!
Fine, not all... Why, yes, I'm in full support.
That's right!
Ah, yes. About what we... Huh? Goodness gracious.
She said that...
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary, but I've never met.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle...
Their abilities are...
Well, it's not like Paimon can...
Yes, she was perhaps... Traveler?
Oh, we're fine.
I see. I guess you could consider me someone who has all... But even... Perhaps that's what En was trying to tell... I did originally...
Huh. You do have a point.
There, it was worth... I suppose that might be why we all...
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. Hey, Traveler. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
The assumption that every person has somewhere to call home is naive. I got used to living in the mountains alongside the birds and beasts a long time ago.
If you want to outrun the law, you need to know how it works.
Huh? Our names are written in this newspaper. What's going on? Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, my recent attempts to thus didn't. So while the fortress is journalist Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so. Seriously? We're here! Paimon's hungry. Should we go in and get... Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last time we tried it, despite the
1 slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur Nervalette was right. You really can eat.
Wait, did he really say something like that?
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food. As for me, I love the cake and coffee here.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake and coffee.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon?
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe...
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No, still, even if they're... No, it's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat...
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake to go? These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call being...
Oh, you know Sijuin?
I sure do. She was born before... She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily. Yes, and you can only lift their spirits by feeding them delicious food. So please try the cakes here. I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now. You two try to stay in a good mood after eating, all right?
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in. Paimon's sure this cake... It's more delicious than last time. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious food here. We're near the Seabird office. Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh,
Ha! You've got some nerve. You just used us to.
oh, you needn't. It's all right though.
Really? Oh, Paimon.
Still, what bring?
A friend of ours met.
Ah, so you know. So she mentioned me?
She said that you're a
Huh? Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and experienced.
Yeah, are we?
Why not?
Oh.
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell. Ooh, so.
Wait, Charlotte. Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If
you're. From what I've seen, most people. So, in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepped. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be. And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'm not a drink, but anyway.
That's so. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking. If it wasn't fun. No, but. We've always been moving to the next You mean. Still traveling? Huh. Feels like you'll grow, but it's still big.
Ah, so the two of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermont?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Not at all. Yes.
All right.
Well, that's... Lady Farina was loudly accusing her of... And before the crowd can...
So...
I agree.
So what happened?
Seeing that the Marechaussee Phantom...
So, you...
That's right. The Marechaussee has dispatched... That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god, after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary people do to her? Good.
Don't worry. This is more than enough to go.
Is that...
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know and as we... When Nervalette was talking, it would be... Paimon thinks... Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up, too. Cool. In that case...
Manifest!
Access denied. I can fix this. Next on the agenda. Next on the agenda. We're way behind schedule.
This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible. That's Farina, right over there.
What was meant to happen? I'm sorry. I am so... Give up for... I'm sorry, but what can I even do? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was... Who'd they even dare to tout their... Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette... Of course not!
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are... They're just some rabid fans who want to cut the line because they haven't been able to meet me in person, aren't they? That's...
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up! This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot.
What?
Hurry, they're almost...
Fine, I suppose... No, I mean, I'm near...
Yep, that...
What's happening?
Yeah.
It can't be.
Well, there's no need to worry.
Yeah, but the people of Poisson... It's true. I've been investigating. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried, but we cannot make an enemy of the divine. Give up, indeed. Fate. But just now, it all, as long as the fight... Don't worry. Well, That's enough for now. Don't take any.
Come on!
Share, that's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone. A witness, and if to I...
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado...
So, this is what it is. Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice.
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a...
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just...
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Wow, how utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
Shh! It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raise...
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I raised my hands just now to indicate my acceptance of the trial. I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crime. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly disappointed. But now, it is time for the Hydro Archon to show you her courage and resolve. I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of justice. This time, applaud and rejoice. What? Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. Woohoo!
Oh, now we're making...
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for... Also, even though she's still
All right, then. Who?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very well. Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins, just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson by yourself. So, we arranged for—
So, you mean the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also—
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate—
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese. The volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Areneas. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome?
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up—
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be also that as soon—
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson. You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived. Oh? It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the proceedings.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Hey, Oh, let Paimon see! Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that— So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every— Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right. This is the first time Monsieur Nervilette had a difference of opinion with the oratories. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence. A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something. The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. According to Monsieur Nervilette, both Child and that whale should— I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be the words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly—
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Nervilette. There's no need to repeat all the unimportant legalese. Just fast forward to the part where the Of course, it is only natural—
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon.
Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking our duty, but did I hear that right? She's not our Archon at all?
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I be guilty? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your true Arch.
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make...
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There, see? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld? If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the God of Justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic spectacle and move on with our lives. What do you say to that?
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn the long-held...
Well, I tried to give you the... And if I...
That doesn't sound right. Paimon... First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Who gave you that idea?
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of curse. But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse after all.
You sensed it too, huh, Nervalet?
Lady Farina is actually a human?
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, how does that prove that I am merely a human being? Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemnitium that is used in every aspect of life.
sound right. You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend.
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having been created by you, the manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't—
The real Hydro Archon? It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice, but the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally. You can't.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses.
My power.
If that poses a...
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive, thus did I—
Isn't that a huge stretch?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was— I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? The one that you loved. Please, you've got to believe me.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too?
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon, then who is? If you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm not actually the—
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like— that does— that doesn't— that doesn't sound— It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial sea. And that means—
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all—
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before a...
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll speak out of turn. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson, including those of some of my— So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater? If we we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess her suggestion is valid.
If Lady Farina's in...
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm of standard court proceedings, you possess the right to decline.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word.
What's going on? Is she really planning to... that's not what we thought she would...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may...
Hey!
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved! Will you believe me now?
Miss Siegewing? If you're present, Miss Siegewing, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Siegewing? Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see. That should be enough.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss Siegewing. Lady Farina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. We don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample...
I can't believe... You... Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. What happened just now didn't prove a thing. Think about it. Also... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything she says at this point.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's any way left.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway her. She's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty. We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus: the Hydro Archon, guilty, to be punished via the death sentence.
The death sentence?
That's actually one of the available sentences?
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the...
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth.
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah! Even Vache wasn't sentenced to death by the...
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon. What does this mean?
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! You finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the Nick...
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then... doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed in me.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already proven... so when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kinda talking about?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you. The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans. Does that mean that Fontainians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then Perhaps this process can be reversed as well. The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing? The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else? Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so on. We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we? But after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if. That doesn't sound quite right. Let's think about this some more. That doesn't sound quite right. Let's think about this some more.
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial seawater, and the first stone slate tells us that long ago, the Hydro Archon used her power to turn Oceanids into humans. This might be the reason that Fontanians can dissolve. Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. The true sin and the original sin cast down. It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was subjected to judgment. The stone slates show the people gathered around the Hydro Archon in the sea. Could that be alluding to the same thing? The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society, but not many people believed it at first. The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater, which we know can cause Fontanians to dissolve. It seems increasingly likely that the prophecy may come true. If we hadn't dealt with it in time, things could have gone very badly.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meripede was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The prophecy's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truths should come to light. It now, so that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Let's hear them.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear that?
We're not real humans.
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will... Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth. However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. But since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
Well?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. I will try to briefly summarize it for you. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontainians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the 7, did not possess the authority to create a new form of human life. Not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanids' blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So we were all Oceanids before we turned it?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing. Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontainian, but it does answer a lot of our questions.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the 3rd and 4th stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct. A key point of the visual on the 3rd slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of Trials and Justice. Instead, you may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the 3rd slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes true.
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the 4th slate will also be fulfilled soon?
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the 4th slate, you probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass. However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before. This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must find the root cause of the disaster.
It was both dream and reality.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
The truth, the original sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It has been greedily and once it has finished.
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids.
Precisely. That would. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea.
We just.
That is correct. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. Anyway, now that.
It is too late. It had already absorbed. Even if the entirety of Tevat were to.
That's not. We've already done. We've come.
Indeed.
I'll fight it to the end.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Just as ultimately,
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor? Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria, for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe, now does it? She knew full well that the prophecy would surely come to pass. And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding conundrum. I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydro Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress. to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live. Instead, I suppose now you probably
But Farina, even though
It has, and it's been, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely.
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto this stage? All right, all right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no... I am... Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Now disappear!
Manifest! Come on, we can do it! This is long overdue. No touching. Next on the agenda...
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
We're way behind schedule. Next on...
Unleash!
Let's dance. Oh, huh.
By ordinance, no touching.
Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're... mirror me? How can this be?
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad.
Mirror me. What do you wish to say?
The prophecy.
What prophecy? Wait, the people will all be dissolved into the waters.
Oh.
What's... But...
I will tell you.
Oh, but if there weren't...
I suppose.
Huh?
Don't worry.
Play
That's right. If you can...
But...
Don't worry. Being a human, remember...
So...
To a but
a trial. The Maison Garden. What should I say to most? I'm sure you've all heard about. In truth, as the god Focalor. Once again, I thought I.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her
Shouldn't gods be all powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen.
Wait, what's going right? Calm down, Farina. Assertive. Now, I was wondering if some. You may now then.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were.
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, we have heard it said that the scale may law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to play. There is, so long as.
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Besides, a magan.
That's true,
No need for fright. And do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now.
Lady Farina.
No need to thank. All right.
He's.
Lady Farina.
I see. It's as I thought. All manner. Really?
I'm...
The day is finally over. But it's good. Maybe this is fun.
Lady Farina, here.
They'll.
Lady Farina.
Indeed,
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant.
Understood.
I feel
Lady Farina, it's like a dream being able to speak with you up close like this. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you. Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god. So, hundreds, I never have I want to dive. All I can do is keep.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden although I don't know.
Share. That's impossible.
But even if you're burnt, just share it with me.
A witness. And if to... He's right. I could confide in... But if they... No, Farina. But what if... Farina, is it... If you think about it long and hard... No. All you need to do, dear spectator, is...
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full—
Yes, she did very well. If she had it seems that trusting—
I believe— How would you—
Ah, good, good. Of course the Eudex of Fontaine has— I'm sure you—
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Linny did mention that he heard a— It now seemed—
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes. Alas, in truth, it is— Oh, my work. But really, the vast majority has been— had to be—
It was—
Indeed. This power accrued over 5 centuries, but—
So the the destruction of that divine throne—
Returning what— In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro—
But—
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragon—
All you've done—
I've never quite— Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved. Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea. And that for speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice So, if the theft of the primordial sea, then leaving in other defying at this point, Eudex Nervillet.
So when I was— At last. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of— You are— Things being as they are. Surely you know that I could never declare them to be...
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Eudex Nouvelette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that... I have gained the strengths of... We should seize the opportunity to pursue our traveler. Now that the oratories can no longer... The root of the... Come with me, traveler. The hour... Find a way to attack it from within. We shall share a part of the ancient right of HUMBLY. We shall look for an opening together. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Next on the agenda.
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility, and chance will present itself.
Unleash!
Thingy over there.
Oh, protect us.
Manifest!
We're way behind schedule.
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Obey! Access denied. Next on the agenda, we're waiting.
Manifest the authority of the ancient dragons.
कब करोगे यार?
Witness the
बैठ
might
के
of
अंदर
the
ही बैठे हुए हो।
primordial sea.
राजा को नाराज कर रहे हैं भाई।
No touching.
नाराज कर रहे हैं।
All hail.
हम तो GTA 5 भी खेलते थे ना? मतलब खुद की स्टोरी नहीं बनाई तुमने जैसे वो टेक्नो गेम्स वगैरह बना रहा है। है ना यार वो तो ना आत्मा भी सॉरी 20 थोड़ी है 36 37 हो गया अब तो। ना इसका थोड़ी है ये।
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I.
That power. Who are you exactly?
Paimon has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right?
पोकेमॉन देखा है? पोकेमॉन देखा है कभी? हाँ। ये
It's just that he gave us
कोई
the
गेम
impression
खेल लो
that she was
पोकेमॉन का गेम भी खेल सकते हो तुम।
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak.
सभी खेल
But
सकते हो।
you, on the other, so you may speak to me as
हमारे
equals.
पास पैसे हैं तो खेल लो। स्कारलेट एंड वॉलेट खेल
I
लो।
have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think you
और
might have
इसके
missed
अंदर
the
एडी को
point.
कब मारोगे? कल या
The
परसों?
point
ये आज तो नहीं हो पाएगा।
So what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's
एडी को
master.
Oh,
एडी को
right.
कब
So
मारोगे?
you don't know him. His name is Sertologi.
I am
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous.
the foul.
Still nothing?
Ooh, that one we've heard.
वो तो पता फट
But I suppose you understand.
Wait,
Actually,
XP
never mind.
potion
That the
कहाँ
all-devouring
मिलता है?
gnaw,
ज़्यादातर
such roiling
XP
hydro
potion
energy,
कहाँ
difficult for the
है
planet's
क्या?
deep seas to digest. As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos.
HP पोर्शन पता है कि कहाँ मिलते हैं? लाल कलर की होती है बोतल। बनानी नहीं, बनानी भी तो पड़ती है, लेकिन मतलब मुझे तो याद है उसके बाद आएगा वो ऑप्शन शायद से।
In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor had...
In the end, the people will all be
उनको
dissolved
भाई
into
तो
the
ग्राइंड
waters,
करना पड़ रहा है,
and
पता नहीं
only
क्या हुआ।
Farina
कल
will
हमारा है
remain.
ना डिस्पॉल हो गया गुइया, तो ये रहा हमारा गुइया डिस्पॉल हो गया। पता नहीं कैसे हुआ। मैच हमारे पास इतने
Only
रिसोर्सेज
then
थोड़ी थे,
will the sins of the
तो जितने
people of
रिसोर्सेज मिले
Fontaine
थे इवेंट से या
be washed away.
एमएड वगैरह लिए थे वो सारे खत्म हो गए। हमारे फूड खत्म हो गया। हमने सोचा अब हम ग्राइंड हमने कहा अच्छा हाँ
Help! Over here!
हम भी ये तुम्हारे जैसा आइडिया। पहले हमको पता नहीं था, फिर हमने तुम्हारी लाइफ देखी, फिर हमको पता चला, फिर हम भी ये तुम्हारी वाली चीजें करने लग गए। हम बनाएंगे सॉस। अब हम सॉस। अरे ऐसा कोई कर माइनक्राफ्ट जैसे कोई फर्नेस वगैरह नहीं है क्या, जो एक साथ ही खाना वो स्टोर कर ले, पकाने के लिए रख दिया पानी।
All hands initiate emergency rescue.
इसके अंदर बग्स और ग्लिचेस बहुत ज्यादा है। कह रहा है वो क्या रिलीज हो पाएगा। सब बिक जा गई है।
Look, the water's receding.
वही तो समझ में नहीं आती। मैं वही समझ में नहीं आता कहा तो क्या करने, समझ में नहीं आती। वही तो हूँ डीजे सॉन्ग।
It's a miracle!
Water's receding. We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Are you alright? We're safe. The prophecy was
मुझे
wrong.
तो लैग मार रहा है यार, लैग मार रहा सब कुछ। के अंदर भी लैपटॉप के अंदर जैसे बस बातें करता हूँ, अभी बातें करने आया हूँ मैं तो। एचपी का ये नॉर्मल बिजनेस के लिए था ये तो लैपटॉप। नहीं लैपटॉप के अंदर नहीं खेलता, अब वो नेट का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है वो। ऐसा ठीक कराएंगे अभी, मतलब उसके ऊपर रेड डॉट आ रहा है। सेंटर से बात कर रही हूँ मतलब।
What do you think?
सेंटर से
Pretty
तो बोले
enthralling,
कि
huh?
अभी
The
ठीक हो जाएगा।
value for these big scoops lies
एक दो
Edwin's
महीने।
assistant Jurier created. And that's exactly what.
ये तो
Oh,
टैब के
this
अंदर
time.
खेलता हूँ। पहले के अंदर सैमसंग A8 है। हाँ हाँ उसके अंदर लोई वाले चलते हैं, लो वाले ग्राफिक्स। डिवा सपोर्ट भी करता है। हाँ अभी फरवरी में ये फोन सजेस्ट कर दो ना। 30,000 के अंदर आईफोन को छोड़ के, आईफोन को छोड़ के।
Do we have anyone doing maintenance on this statue?
We're way behind schedule.
इसके अंदर ना ग्राफिक्स अच्छी हो तो वन प्लस चल जाएगा, आराम से चल जाएगा।